Hello everyone, welcome to Lighthouse Stamping with Lorraine. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Vancouver, Washington. Thank you for joining me today. Before we get started, our housekeeping notes. All the product I'm using and all the dimensions will be listed below. There's a link to my online store if you wish to purchase any of these products. There's a link to my Facebook group if we'd love to have you join that. There's my email address. And finally, remember to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube and help me grow in YouTube world. Okay, we all know that the last chance product sale for the mini catalog is going on. Very Cute is going. The punch is going. The paper's going. The ribbon's going. The whole suite is going. So if you're wanting this, you need to get in there quickly before it is gone because it is while supplies last. Brightest glows in the annual catalog. Not going anywhere yet. So let me show you what we're going to be making. These are the two sets we're using, and we are using him. We'll just leave him out. We're going to use him first. Grab, we're making Polar Bear on my card. And this is the card we're making today. It's a nice, simple little card. It says, Joy, Merry Christmas, little place to write. If you need a bigger place, you can add another panel on the back. I kept him really simple. So let me show you how I made this one. We're going to start by punching the polar bear. This is the paper I got. The polar bear in his little jumper. He's right there. He was one right here too. So these here, this one in the green green jumper would work as well. No, I'm going to stick with the red jumper. Anyhow, you can pick, but you could fussy cut. You could just use the paper as is. I love these guys. So I'm just going to reach in here and punch him out. If I can line him up. Be patient with yourself when lining up your punches, especially when you have limited polar bears. Now you could take and I'm holding it. It's not cutting it, but I'm holding it to make sure I've got all the pieces in there, and I do. Yeah, I love this bear. He's cute. So there's our polar bear for our card. So we need to do a whole bunch of die cutting for this to get things started. And we are going to be using the Deckled circle dies. I already pulled those two out. These, counting from the inside, these are 3 and 4 on the Deckled. We're going to use the Deckled rectangles. I didn't get them out of the pack though. We're using, flip those over. So counting from the inside, we're using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 4, 5, and 6 in size. And I've given you the dimensions you need of the paper for this, so you'll actually be able to tell from the dimensions which die fits in there. And all of these will fit through a little cranky. So, I've got my paper out here. Need to grab paper and do a little sorting here real fast. I should have done it before I started. So this is a piece of basic white, 4 by 2.5. It's going to be die cut. This is a piece of DSP that is 4 by 2.5. It's going to be die cut. This is Misty Moonlight, 4.5 by 3, which is going to be die cut. This is a piece of Night and Navy that's 4 3/4 by 3 1/4. It's going to be die cut. This is Misty Moonlight, 2.5 by 2.5 to be die cut. And this is a piece of basic white that is 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 for die cutting. The rest of this, we'll go through the dimensions when we get to them. But those are all the pieces that are die cut. And in my description, it will say for die cut. So, because there is so many pieces to be die cut. That doesn't take that long. So, let's do our circles first. So, the first one is the smaller of the two circles. Oh, I got the bigger one. I do have the bigger one. That's better. This is how you can tell this is too big for that piece of paper. And we can actually run some of these at the same time. And you could actually use your big, if you have the big one. I didn't want to grab Auto today. You could actually run several of these through at one time. So that's it for the circles. Set those off to the side. That over here will work. And this is the larger piece of 9 of Navy. And that is for the biggest of the dies. You see, I may give you the dimensions. They are just fit. And this is the largest one that will fit through the small embossing folder, or in small die cutting machine. So there's this one. Now, if you didn't want to take and die cut these, you could actually just cut the paper. But I think the deckled edges make it look really cute. This is the 4.5 by 3 Misty Moonlight. And I'm going to flip my plates here. Oh, haven't done that in a while. A little too straight. Little Cranky doesn't like when I go to have the plates too straight. That's that one. Now this one is the 4 by 2.5, and this is the last of the dies we're going to use. We're actually going to be cutting the white. There's a white piece here. We're also cutting with the same die. As I'm moving my thing all around. And the last one. Why did I set it in there? I still need it. Gotta be quiet. Shasta's laying behind me on her blanket, sound asleep. She's been glued to me for days. She doesn't want me out of her sight for some reason. So that is all of our die cutting. Dump this over here. I did my die cutting before I did my stamping because we're going to be stamping on these two pieces. And an envelope, which is right here. And I'm going to need a map for that. So we're going to start with the little circle. And this is the only stamp we're using out of the Brightly Glowing set is Joy. I wanted it to say Joy. I looked at using the Warmest Wishes from the Bear set, but I wanted it to say Joy. And I'm going to be stamping in Real Red. And I'm going to come down towards the bottom. Middle and bottom. Just like that. And then this is Merry Christmas from the Bear set. And this is the piece we just cut. And it's still Real Red. Just like that. And then this is the little polar bear. And we're going to use Misty Moonlight for him. And I'm going to pop him down here in the corner. And this is my envelope. And I'm going to put a little bear on the envelope. And that is all of the stamping for this project. Okay, now we need to do, hang on here, my pieces got mixed up here. Get my stamp, my machine out here, because this is a piece of 11 by 4 1/4, and we're going to score it together. Excuse me, I was getting a little dry. So we can make our Z-fold card. So on the 11-inch side, we are going to score this at 2 3/4. Make sure my blade is way out of the way. And at 5 1/2. Z-fold cards are really easy to make. I almost grabbed the cutting blade, but that would be a mistake. And then take that 5 1/2 and score it. Just a little water, it's fine. And then this piece here, we're going to fold it back. Just like that. That's our Z-fold. Now it's time to start putting our pieces together. So the front piece of our card is going to be the largest, which was Night of Navy, and this is Misty Moonlight, and they're going to get hooked together. Oop. It's just moving something. And try to center that the best you can. And then this is that piece that of the DSP. I went with this because I loved it. Looked like the night sky and all speckly. That's going to get mounted here. And then our circles. This is the Misty Moonlight large one, and we're going to put the Joy right in the center here. And then we're going to set these two off to the side with the polar bear for now. So we have some other pieces we need. We have a piece of Misty Moonlight that is 5 1/4 by 4. And we have a piece of the DSP, which is 5 by 3 3/4. That's going to go like that. We have two pieces that are 2 1/2 by 4 of Misty Moonlight, and two pieces of the DSP that is 2 1/4 by 3 3/4. We're here. So let's get those glued together. Let's spin it all the way around. Yeah, I think this paper is so pretty. This particular pattern I really do like. That. And we're going to open this up, and we're going to put this large panel on there. Just like that. And these two here, and I'm trying to decide. I think I'm going to put them there with... You're going to cover up some of this. This panel is going to be where you can see it. And I got the two bears there, so that's why I decided to do that. You could cut this as one long pattern. I did not because I had lots of pieces from other projects, so I didn't have a full sheet to work with. But you could do it so it all goes together if you want it. Okay. Just like that. Okay, we're going to close this up, grab our piece that we already put together, and we're going to mount this, move this so I can see it, put it on my grid. We're only going to be putting glue. We're going to have, about a little ½ inch on each side, and about a ½ inch, 3/4 from top and bottom. We're only putting glue on this side here. So only put glue on the half that you're gluing. Just like that. Okay, hold that for a second to make sure it's actually done. Now, next we need the inside of our card, place to sign. So if you set this in here, it's much smaller, it's this size, so you got a lot of room to play with. So you can decide where you want it, and it just right in there is good. I would like to go higher. Can I go higher without covering up the bear's heads? Nope, still gonna cover up the bear's heads. But I can go over this way a little ways and leave this little guy out. So decide where you want it. Just make sure that you're hiding it behind the front panel. And so, I know I have to cover up the two, but we'll leave the little guy out. And everybody's paper is going to be cut differently, so, you know, decide what you want to cover and what you don't. See, and you still see these guys too. These guys got covered up. But he's hidden. That's what I wanted. Okay, next we have the joy and we have the bear. And we're going to use some dimensionals on them. I thought about putting ribbon on this card and I decided not to. I didn't think we needed it. There is going to be some bling. So what I want to do is also make sure my dimensional is not going off the page. So I want this to go right about there. And then we're going to pull that down a little bit and pull him in. Go about like that. But you could rearrange it any way you wanted. Just like that. And then I'm going to have him just overlapping that piece just slightly. Maybe a little more than slightly. Actually, want to know something? I want to move this. Hey, I did okay. I want to move it more this way. That's better. Okay, we're still good. I want more of his head. There we go. I just wanted to move it over a little more, like that. You can decide where you want to place yours, but I want him over the sentiment a little bit. Let's get these out of here. I've got so much static that all of these are sticking to me everywhere. Oh well. Okay, so we needed some bling for this. Now I know these are no longer available, the star trinkets, but I did tell you if you have the Merriest Trees, they've got some beautiful stars, and the Stars at Night has some beautiful little stars you could cut out of gold paper. But I know a lot of you do have these too, and I really do love them, and I still have them to use. So I'm going to take a large star, and I'm going to put it right here, just like that. And then I wanted some little bit of other sparkle in there, so I just grabbed some basic gems, rhinestones, and I'm going to put a medium one like right here. I'm going to put a large one over here, and another medium about there. And that is the card for today. Just a nice, simple little Z-fold. And he has his little bear envelope. So thank you for joining me today, and I will see you on Friday. Goodbye.